For decades, we've been hearing about India's economic potential. But what if I told you that major financial institutions are now saying that the future is, well, finally here? Today, we're going to break down one of the biggest economic stories on the planet, what's really behind the monumental rise of India, and why it's all happening right now. So, this is the big question, right? It's on the minds of pretty much every economist and world leader. And you know what? It's moving really fast from the realm of maybe someday to it's happening. So, what's actually fueling all these headlines? And this statement from Morgan Stanley, it really frames the whole thing perfectly. Look at that language. This isn't just some cautious, optimistic forecast. No, it's a bold declaration that we're seeing a fundamental shift in the world's economic order. This is the core of what we're going to unpack. And there it is, the headline prediction. Not in 2050, not in 2040, but by 2027. That is just around the corner. We're talking about an economy that would surpass both Japan's and Germany's, sitting right behind the US and China. That's a truly seismic shift. Okay, so a prediction that big needs some powerful evidence to back it up, right? It's not just one thing, it's actually a potent combination of forces all coming together at the exact same time. The Morgan Stanley report actually breaks it down into three core engines of growth, and we're going to dive into them right now. So, the first engine is the most fundamental building block of any economy. It's people. And for India, this isn't just a resource, it's a massive strategic advantage. They call it the demographic dividend. 28. Just let that number sink in. That's the median age in India. Now, to put that in perspective, while major economies like Japan are grappling with a median age of nearly 50, India has this incredibly young, dynamic population. It's the very foundation of its economic potential. So, what does a median age of 28 actually mean in the real world? Well, for starters, it means a massive, continuous supply of workers. It also means hundreds of millions of people are entering their prime earning and spending years. This creates one of the largest consumer markets on the entire planet, which in turn fuels this incredible cycle of domestic growth and innovation. A young workforce is one thing, but you've got to put all those people to work. And that brings us to our second engine, India's absolutely massive push into manufacturing, with a very clear goal of becoming the new factory of the world. Just look at this chart for a second. It shows you the sheer ambition here. The projection is that by 2030, manufacturing will make up a full quarter of India's entire economy. That share is bigger than even the established industrial powerhouses like Germany and Japan. This is all about making manufacturing a central pillar of the economy. And believe me, this isn't happening by accident. It is a very deliberate, strategic shift. For years, India's growth story was all about services. But the new model, it's all about a major push into high-value manufacturing. We're talking electronics, not just textiles. And this is all being backed by huge investments in infrastructure under the Make in India policy, all aimed at turning the country into a global export hub. So why does any of this matter to you? Well, as global supply chains continue to shift and diversify, it means that the smartphone in your hand, the parts in your car, or the electronics in your home are more and more likely to be made in India. Okay, on to our third and final engine, and honestly, this one might be the most transformative of all, India's digital revolution. This is about a fundamental rewiring of the entire economy built on a total unique digital infrastructure. This story of how this happened is just incredible. It all started with this one massive idea: give every single citizen a unique digital biometric ID called Aadhaar. Then they linked these IDs to bank accounts, which brought hundreds of millions of people into the formal financial system for the first time. The final and maybe most crucial step was building a revolutionary public payment system on top of it all, allowing for instant, free transactions for absolutely everyone. And the result of all that? Just try to wrap your head around this number for a second. Over 10 billion digital transactions every single month. That is more than the United States and Europe combined. This level of digital adoption is literally unmatched anywhere else in the world. And it's created a truly digital-first economy. And the ripple effects from this are just immense. Digital transactions bring more of the economy out of the shadows and into the formal tax base. It makes everything more efficient. It has unleashed this incredible wave of startup innovation. And crucially, it allows a small street vendor in a tiny village to accept digital payments just as easily as a massive corporation. It's a total game changer. So, we've seen the three core engines, right? Now, let's just pull back for a moment and look at the big picture. What happens when all of these powerful forces combine? Okay, so let's recap real quick. First, you have the people power, that demographic dividend providing the human capital. Second, you've got the manufacturing boom, creating jobs and making India a critical piece of the global supply chain. And third, the digital transformation, a platform that is just supercharging efficiency and innovation across the board. So here it is, the key takeaway. India's story isn't just about demographics, or just about manufacturing, or just about tech. No, it's the powerful, interlocking combination of all three: people, production, and platforms that creates this unique, once-in-a-generation opportunity for explosive growth. But of course, no journey this massive is without its obstacles. The potential is absolutely undeniable, but turning it into reality means navigating some serious challenges, like closing infrastructure gaps, and, really importantly, making sure that this growth is inclusive for all 1.4 billion people. The engines are all fired up, but the big question remains: can India overcome these hurdles to truly define the next century of global economics?